let's get started. Let's get settled in. So let's talk about what we're doing. My name is Phil. Welcome to Wilder Fiction. This is our first stream. Technically our second stream. We streamed a little bit last night, testing this project. So we're going to give it a go tonight. And we'll see how far we get. My goal here is to chronicle myself scripting Final Fantasy VII. This is not new. There are other scripts out there. And that being the case, I would like to highlight a couple of them. This one by Yenza. There's a script on Final Fantasy fandom, Lateo, and Okong at Neoseeker. So, I'm not doing something groundbreaking or new, but I am doing this because I want to have the script like a screenplay in ebook format, obviously to make available for free to the community as a tool or resource. And in doing so, I don't want to necessarily just take someone else's effort and throw it into an ebook and format it. So therefore, I'm going to embark on scripting this game myself. And maybe you'll want to come along with me. It's going to be chill. We're going to be learning as we go, both in the streaming realm and in the how we most effectively accomplish the scripting. So yeah, let's have some fun. An iconic intro, to say the least. I have played through Final Fantasy VII multiple times, but I am by no means an expert. So, one thing I am excited about here is being able to play through this at a slower pace and really take in the writing. This is the Steam version played through the Seventh Heaven mod manager, so we do have some graphical mods. We are also playing with invincibility on, and we're going to be playing with no random encounters because, again, we have a very specific goal in what we're trying to do here. And playing the game normally is not on the list of things I'm trying to accomplish. Something that we discovered in last night's stream was that there was a setting in Seventh Heaven that was preventing music. So being able to come in here and immediately hear the bombing run theme, it's encouraging. This might just go fairly well. You also will have noticed I have our first piece of dialogue here already done. But yeah, we're playing the Steam version. Now for our first run here, I am only going to focus on the main plot. And in that, I'm also not necessarily going to be capturing the dialogue from NPCs outside of like on a mission sort of around the area. So when we get to the Sector 7 slums in this playthrough, I'm not necessarily going to go around and talk to everyone and compile those pieces of dialogue, although I do want to eventually do that. And if I miss a couple of characters here and there, you know, we'll figure it out. He was in Soldier. Now, I can't remember how much, if any, the Steam version translation differs from like the original. I know most of the originals are kind of maligned a little bit for poor translations. I might go ahead and give some direction here. Cloud shakes his head. Just to make it a little bit easier on me later on. They don't want me to know that Barrett's name is Barrett quite yet. What the hell are you all doing? We'll meet on the bridge in front of it. So reactor number 1, which we saw in the preview video. Ex-soldier, huh? It's all caps because it's tough. I don't trust you. But here's my name and it's Barrett. We are also not going to be including the gamey dialogue, because again, I want to eventually like turn this into a screenplay type recording. So we're going to avoid those. Warning, intruder. Alright, so let's go over here and catch some dialogue from Wedge. We will try to exhaust the dialogue as well. We only have one to deal with there. Because something that I'm wanting to compile for myself, and if other people find it interesting as well, but I want to be able to read through or search, you know, if this is like in a PDF format or if it's on a Kindle, so I can search, I can make highlights, and have it be sort of a research resource. So exhausting dialogue will help with that. And we're about to get our first bit of exposition here. Yo, this your first time in a reactor? Is it? Planet's full of Mako energy. I accidentally typed Mojo energy, but I like that as well. But Shinra keeps sucking the blood out with these weird machines. It's a very Waka from Final Fantasy X line. The Machina, right? We'll keep Shinra lower title case until it refers to the actual name instead of the company. Because then I got the code for this door. It's like a Rogue One situation. Think how many of our people risked their lives just for this code. Just like Rogue One. Little by little, the reactors will drain out all the life. He's still on his impassioned speech from earlier. Gotta love that. Then that'll be that. Earth will die out. A little bit of nihilism here from Cloud. It's not my problem. Let somebody else deal with it. By the way, this is literally one of my favorite tracks of music. In the original and remake, I think I've got the symphonic remasters, it doesn't matter. If I'm hearing the bell tones and that ominous choir, I'm into it. Love it. Really sets the tone for this initial bombing run. Always has, always will. Planets dying Cloud. Cloud, only thing let's give him Barrett. What do we want to say? What does he do? Barrett shakes his fist. In anger. It'll do good enough for now. And we're gonna get some nice mysterious dialogue here. Pan down, little cutscene, pick up, restore. Still a bit of hesitation on Barrett's part. We're gonna see that for a little while. Fine, I'll do it. Love this. Watch out. So let's call this internal voice, maybe? Inner voice. Watch out. This isn't just a reactor. Always a fascinating little bit of mystery there. Love it. Love this setup. This is one of the best tutorial stages of all time. And this is not going to be the first, or this is not going to be the only time that Cloud has a little episode in one of these reactors, and Barrett's, perhaps rightfully suspicious, is paying this guy to do a job, and he's supposed to be a soldier first class, and he's having a little bit of performance issues. Checking the tape. Little challenge flag here. Heads up, here it comes. Okay. Heads up, here it comes. Now, seems crazy, but was that an exclamation mark? It was. Wanted to make sure the characterization of Barrett there is accurate and correct. Bum, 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 bum. All right. I actually did not play this game for the first time until I was an adult. 10 minutes to detonation. I should make it out no problem. Not going to worry about saving there. Let's risk it. Really risking it. Really risking it. Are we gonna make it, chat? Are we gonna make it? Especially with all of these random encounters. Can we make it? I always forget who to talk to first. And that was our bombing run. Let's title this Train to Sector 7. Now everyone get back. I'm about to blast it. Let's get out of here. So immediately seeing the destruction around the reactor. It's pretty wild, man. Pretty wild. I felt like the first time I played this, it didn't really sink in, like, how bad it was. Like, how bad they messed up this place. It's interesting. Cloyd. An interesting way to do that. I'll keep it for now, but I would probably put a dash there. Wait till we get back. That is a reasonable request, I would say. There's fire blazing out of a reactor. Alright, this is going to be our first instance of branching dialogue, so I've got an idea of how to take care of that. Alright, so Cloud, what we're going to do is we are going to also, this is one of those things I'll have to look up later what the other option is, because I'm not about to like quit and reload. So we'll do a bracket, we'll do 1, and let's actually put that underneath the header. We're going to go down and we're going to go ahead and do 2. Nothing. Okay. And then I will put a note there to remember to come back to that. You'd better get out of here. Okay. Wait, so what we can do is bring Cloud back in here. Like this. And then carry the conversation on like this. I don't know what's going on, but alright. Yeah, I mean, how crazy would it be to be just walking around up there, selling some flowers, minding your own business, and the nearby reactor blows up on you? And we're going to opt to skip all these. I actually don't know. What is the difference? I don't have time to mess around. Ah! I don't have enough time to mess around with you guys. Yeah, I don't know what, like, what happens, like, if you fight all of them versus not? Is it just free experience? A game with grinding, it's like, that doesn't really matter. Barrett's like, that guy literally cannot die. He might have to take a knee in front of the reactor because he's having some sort of episode, but he's not gonna die. I promise. Do I look like a mind reader? Feels like there could be a little bit of an expletive right there. That would have been great. That would have been fantastic. If y'all weren't such screw-ups. Definitely projecting there. I feel like it seems like Barrett is not sure how to process one of his team members not showing up. Even if he doesn't like that team member, I think we've got a Barrett who is obviously cares for his team no matter what. So we'll give the Barrett slams fist onto crate Just like Geostigma, Cloud asking for money is infecting the team. Was that Biggs or Wedge that asked that? I have it as Wedge. No, I'm not sure. Yeah, it was Wedge. Instincts are correct. Is this a collective sigh? Everyone? Or is that Wedge? That's interesting to think about if it's like a collective sigh, like of relief, of a little bit of like anxiety maybe. I like it as collective. We'll go Cloud swings into train car abruptly. Everyone. I like the nuance there in Jesse's ellipses. We'll go Biggs and Wedge. Cloud. Jesse. Cloud. A little bit of swooning already. He did save her twice on the bridge. Oh, smooth little bastard here. Looks like I'm a little late. Damn right you're late. Now the tough guy persona can come back up since Cloud is clearly okay, right? Come waltzing in here. Making a big scene. Feels kind of like a parent who is very worried, and then once they know that the kid is okay, then they can be frustrated. It's no big scene, just what I always do. Some bravado. Perhaps some false bravado, especially when we consider what we're going to find out about Cloud later. Like days ago, he was unconscious. And he's also never really been beyond a recruit. So he's obviously also taking on someone else's memories / persona. So a little bit of that. Let's see, it's no big scene. Also, spoilers for this game. I figure if you're going to sit here and watch me script it out, you've already seen this. Otherwise, I don't see how interesting this will be to partake of this game in this way. Alright, let's make sure we get this correct. We've got a parentheses. Don't think Joplin's gonna like this too much. Yep, look. It's not gonna like this too much. You were worried about me. A little bit of joke here. Knows that it'll get to Barrett. And it does. 2 exclamation points from Wedge on this. Again, after he did that earlier, it's obvious he's excited to see Cloud, maybe more than anyone else. A little bit of a fanboy, if you will. Oh, Cloud. 2 exclamation marks this time. Ellipses earlier, again, potentially like a swooning situation earlier. Now it's kind of flirty here. Is pitch black. We are now in the train, and so this is going to be train announcer. Last train out of sector 8 station. Last stop Sector 7. Time of arrival is 23 a.m. Middle of the night. Wow. I also typed that at 12:26 a.m. my time. And me too. A bit of ironic foreshadowing, unfortunately. I'm also going to... What do you have in mind? But that's not what I want to select this time. Again, well, like earlier, I took, honestly, my least favorite option earlier with Aerith, because I guess I'm kind of role-playing it here, where it's hard for me to be rude to Aerith in that situation, but Cloud is a man, a young man on a mission who is acting like a soldier first class. So he's got the rough and gruff persona here. So we're going to go with the second option. So we're going to bracket again, and we're going to go Cloud, and we're going to go don't hold your breath. Interesting. I don't know how intentional it is, but interesting choice to go period Cloud period, because that's almost it's no longer evocative anymore. It really does highlight how excited he has been. Double exclamation, and now, oh man, that's pretty harsh. Cloud. Interesting bit of punctuation there, if again those intentional. This is a complete model of the city of Midgar. I love this little sequence here. This is cool. It's about a 1/10,000 scale, because we just get dropped in medias res, obviously, and especially obviously in the late 90s, at that point we've had a lot of sci-fi and other mediums, but for a video game, complex societal structure as much as this one is, with the plate up top and the city down below, and they did a pretty good job of showing it in that sweeping opening shot, but it's we really got to make sure that you understand what's going on here, and this is a great little way to do it with this the blueprint here. The top plate is about, yes, it is the dictionary definition of exposition, but I think it's warranted with something as alien as this. The bombing of that reactor causes a blackout in Sector 1, so the people above the plates, or on top of the plate, are definitely in the dark at the moment, because it is after midnight. Each town used to have a name, which is an interesting little piece of lore that I didn't catch the first couple times I played. It's they didn't have to do that, but it really does show it's a really, really minor way of showing how the industrialization of Shinra has turned everyone. It's a little on the nose, but in the way that it's presented in this line, it feels subtle, but it's just that the industrialization over time has turned everyone into numbers. They had names, now they're numbers. There's really, especially in literature, there's not really a better way to dehumanize a character than to not name them, right? As soon as you name something, there's that inherent expectation that there's someone that we want to remember, there's someone that's going to have some sort of backstory or some sort of character growth. You remove that name, you just refer to them as, in this case, a number, and that inherently provides an expectation that they're not as special. It is a literary trope at this point, I will admit. That's how things turned out. Such an interesting line there. That's how things turned out. It's like we hoped for more. We were perhaps on a trajectory for more, but things turned out differently. Just a really interesting way to word that. Kind of as a Midgarian, as someone who lives in Midgar, grew up in Midgar, had hopes and dreams about Midgar, an interesting sort of like perspective of defeat, and one that's not even really presented as like she's even super sad about it. It's just like such an acceptance of defeat that is just matter of factly. So just a cool little piece of writing there. You can see how much exposition this is. But again, I just like this sequence here. I love the world of Final Fantasy VII, so I like these little pieces of exposition, just like earlier with Barrett, really laying out his position in the world. I feel like we missed a word there, and that's going to bug me. Another little piece of world building and character building here. That's an interesting line to keep in there. Our longest monologue so far. What is she talking about there? Oh, an ID card. So like he didn't have an ID card? Interesting. Okay, I don't know if I've ever tried to talk to her again here. I'm assuming she's talking about the ID card. Uh-oh. Oh, I definitely have never tried to talk to her again here. You might regret it. I'm the type who takes things personal. What are they talking about? Did I miss? I don't think I missed anything, right? I mean, we're talking about ID checks, checkpoints, the route. That's interesting. I don't know what she's talking about. This sucks. I hate the dark. Which is another interesting piece of world building, since they live beneath the plate, him seeing stars, honestly not used to it, probably being above the plate and being above the plate at night. Now Biggs said he was going to take a nap, which is actually rendered here in this mod, which is cool. This city don't have no day or night. So now they're seeing the actual ground, the plates above them now, because if you remember the spiral that Jesse was talking about, so now they've sort of eclipsed the plate. They're on the down part and they don't actually have day or night. This is a great example of how, kind of like with old movies that didn't really have the tech or like the CG to rely on shots or on being able to do certain things, and you just made it work. You were creative with like the constraints that you had. This is a good example of that, where like in the late 90s, they, other than that, what was more than likely horrendously expensive movie, at the beginning, the preview movie, where they give the nice establishing shot of Midgar. You don't really have it in the budget to do that a whole lot, right? So you've got to rely on that, and then you've got to get creative with your writing and establish world building and scene building, setting building with your dialogue. And they're doing a great job here. Floating city, pretty unsettling. The mention of the stars, having Jesse show you the spiral down, so now we're below the plate. And then you have Barrett, basically say that the plate is blocking out everything. You're just really hammering home what the world, as alien as it is, what the world is like for these people in the sector slums. See, Barrett loves Cloud. It's because of that, you know what he says, pizza, that people underneath are suffering. Which we'll find out later that grass and flowers can't even grow. So in 2023 terms, this is why doesn't everyone just buy a house? And that takes us to Sector 7. Let's get to this save point over here and call our first session in the bag. Next time I'm going to have to figure out what to do with this microphone, because it's forcing a typing angle that is not sustainable. My forearms should not be sore after this amount of typing. And it's 100% because of where the microphone is. Hour and 20 minutes into the project. Thank you for following along. This is we're gonna iron some things out, and we're gonna keep having fun with it. I'm gonna figure out what to do with my microphone and not injure my forearms and wrists. That's gonna be great. This is quite the undertaking, but again, I'm really just wanting to have fun with the game. Take it at a really slow pace, really kind of dive into the writing and the dialogue, and just kind of pick it apart as we go. I think we can learn a few things, and just enjoy the game that is Final Fantasy VII. So we'll see you next time.